It's the Superhuman Television Show, your guide to living beyond 100 years in good health. Now, here's your host, Carl Lanore and Tony Vanetti.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Superhuman Television. I am Tony Vanetti.
And I'm Carl Lanore. Oh,
yes,
sorry about that.
Sorry, there you go. And you may know me from radio and television in town for the last 22 years, a sports show. On 790 AM. You can tune it in today at 3 o'clock. And your show reaches a few more people nationally.
Internationally syndicated radio show, Superhuman Radio, bringing the information needed to reverse disease, live a longer, healthier life.
That's right. And anybody don't want to live longer? No? Everyone, raise your hand at home if you want to live longer.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay, there
Look
you
at
go.
all the people raising their hands.
I think everyone at home is doing that. I certainly want to do that. Look better, feel better, live longer. Today, what are we talking about?
We're going to talk about autoimmune disorders because they're very misunderstood.
Okay, I have no idea what that is, so I'm going to act like I'm at home right here and talk about this with you today.
An autoimmune disorder is an inappropriate response by the immune system, where immune system is designed to attack foreign invading things into the body.
Right.
But I call it the innocent bystander syndrome. Instead of the immune system attacking this foreign invader, it accidentally attacks a cell in your body that looks similar to this foreign invader.
Right, got it.
So today, there's well over 100 autoimmune disorders, and they're more growing every single day. In fact, just recently, multiple sclerosis was added to the list of autoimmune neurodegenerative diseases.
Yeah.
And so the interesting thing about autoimmune disorders is they didn't even exist 100 years ago, many of them. No one heard of them, and some of the oldest ones, like Graves' disease, Hashimoto's disease, which affects the thyroid, they did occur, but they were very, very rare, and not the way they are today, where every third person, every fourth person
Didn't know about it or didn't exist?
Didn't exist.
Okay.
Didn't exist. Now, here's another interesting fact about autoimmune disorders. Well over 80% of all autoimmune disorders strike women only.
Really?
Yes. And here's another interesting thing. Here, look, over 50 million Americans have an autoimmune disorder. The largest percentage of them are women. The top 10 leading causes of death in women over 65 are autoimmune disorders. You've got to be
kidding me.
And here's the interesting thing about it. Most women don't develop an AI, an autoimmune disorder, until they're actually going through menopause. They become perimenopausal, and that's when the disease comes on. Isn't that interesting? What do you think about that? Like, what's the first, you think, wait, menopause?
Are you kidding me?
No.
I mean, that's, well, okay. I'm starting to think of things, and I don't know, are we on the same page here where...
Ask me.
Well, you can't procreate anymore, so it's time to start shutting things down?
No, not necessarily. What happens is sex hormones like estrogen, testosterone, progesterone, which both men and women carry.
Right.
But women carry much more estrogen than we do. Estrogen provides a very protective effect from an inflammation side. Every cell in your body has a little receptor called fibroblast activation factor. FAF is what the scientists call it.
Okay.
Estrogen docks in FAF and turns inflammation off. In fact, when men have a car accident or get hit in the head with a baseball bat, we have the ability to convert testosterone immediately into estrogen in the brain to stop the damage because of the anti-inflammatory effects of estrogen. So you say to yourself, wait a minute, women develop autoimmune disorders while they're going through and after they go through menopause.
Okay.
This is when estrogen starts to drop. This is when they start to develop their autoimmune disorders.
Okay, that probably leads to...
So there's a linkage between estrogen and autoimmune disorders.
Hormone replacement here is what I can see where you're leading.
Yes.
Okay, so what are the symptoms? And if you're talking about, and you're at home right now, and you may be a mother, a young mother now, or you've gone through menopause, what can they start looking for?
Okay, some of the earliest symptoms obviously are fatigue. Women who suffer from autoimmune disorders like fibromyalgia, they start suffering from fatigue early on. Brain fog. You know, I wake up in the morning and I just can't really get my wits about me. In fact, I don't know if we have a bullet on this graphic, but I'm going to just look down at my prompter here. Joint and muscle pain, weakness, tremor. In some of the most severe cases, women will start to notice that they feel this inner vibration. Unexplained weight loss, right? I'm not trying to lose weight, but I am just dropping weight. That's usually a result of an autoimmune disorder that is affecting the thyroid, which temperature intolerance is also another one. Some women go, my goodness, it's either too hot or too cold. I can never find a comfortable place.
Well, this sounds like a list of if anybody that's old
yes.
would put this list together.
That's why autoimmune disorders are discounted by most doctors. Most women go to a doctor and they say, I have this symptom, I have that, ow, it's in your head. They give them
the chills.
They give them Valium, they give them an antidepressant, they give them all these drugs, and the women keep coming back and they go, oh, I still don't feel good. And the doctor's thinking, oh, it's in your head. And it's not.
It's just your body. It's
in their body.
The fact that your body is attacking your own body.
Sorry about that, I hit my microphone.
Your body's attacking your own body.
Yes.
That's what happens.
That's what happens. The immune system gets confused and it starts attacking cells more randomly than it's supposed to.
Okay.
But remember, what is the thing that's attracting it? Inflammation.
Okay.
And you have to remember this, inflammation. Inflammation is the root of many diseases today, and it is absolutely the root of autoimmune disorders as well.
Okay, so we have the symptoms, and then how do we, you just said it's disguised in just basically getting older, so how do I do, is there blood work?
Yes, there are things that a woman can do, especially when, now there are men, I don't want to discount men, there are men who suffer from autoimmune disorders as well, but it's a very, very small fraction. There's a rare occasion where you'll find a man who suffers from, fibromyalgia. Men will develop, one of the autoimmune disorders that men develop to a greater degree than women is rheumatoid arthritis. Or, I'm sorry, a greater degree that they develop in the same context as women is rheumatoid arthritis.
I bet you we can probably fight this thing with what you're eating also. Is that accurate?
That is what confuses the cells too. It's a very, very important.
It's a reoccurring theme here on Superhuman Television. All right, coming up next, we'll tackle that part of the autoimmune syndrome right here at Superhuman Television.
Superhuman Television will return after these messages.
Your body knows what it wants. It wants to feel stronger, work harder, act faster, and think sharper. Give your body more nutrients, more antioxidants, more protection, more of what it wants. Try Live On Lab's liposomal vitamin C today, risk-free, and give your body the nutrients to support your overall health, without jitters, without side effects. Order online at liveonlabs.com.
Thanks for joining us on Superhuman Television. Today's topic is the autoimmune syndrome with Lanore and Tony Vanetti. Is this inherited?
There is a genetic factor involved, but it has more to do with you have the genetics for not having a more robust immune system.
Okay.
I mean, that's really what it comes down to.
All right.
There are some things that are linked to autoimmune disorders.
Wait a minute, so the beginning of my life, it helped me and now it's hurting me?
No, you never had a really good immune system.
Okay.
And they got to a point where once the hormones dropped out, the suppressive effects
I'm sorry.
of the hormones.
I got it wrong. I thought it was overdrive and then
No, it's not overdrive. It's
okay.
actually just confused immune system.
Okay.
It's a confused immune. And some of the things that have been linked to causing autoimmune disorders is heavy metal toxicity, lots of amalgam fillings in the mouth, lots of mercury. What women should do is they should be tested for heavy metal poisoning, first and foremost, if they suffer from an autoimmune disorder, and especially mercury. Mm-hmm. That's been linked to it.
Okay.
There's also some
mercury seems to be linked to about a million
yes, and
things.
it's and why the American Dental Association condones putting mercury in people's mouths.
Well, they don't do that much anymore, do they?
Oh, they still do.
Oh,
yes.
they do.
Yes,
okay.
yes. But most people ask for composite fillings today.
Okay.
But unfortunately, they're still out there.
Right. Okay.
The hormone linkage as well. We talked about this at the beginning. There's a direct linkage between estrogen levels and autoimmune disorders.
Okay, at home, ladies, this inflicts you more than the guys. What, an 80% clip or 90% clip?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
So ladies, we're talking to you today about this. Now, how can you obviously have prescriptions? Your doctor's taking care of you, but what else can you do?
The first thing you need to do is you need to go and get blood work done. You have to have all your hormones tested. And remember, it's not just estrogen for women. It's progesterone, testosterone, and estrogen. Women have all of that. Mm-hmm. They have to be tested for heavy metals. They should also have an IgG food sensitivity test done. IgG is the acquired portion of the immune system. It's the part of the immune system that says, oh, every day you come in contact with this, we're going to build up and be prepared for it.
Right.
Okay? That's the part of the immune system that becomes imprinted, that goes crazy and starts making mistakes when you develop an autoimmune disorder. So by going and having an IgG food sensitivity test done, you can find out what foods that you're probably eating and enjoying that really shouldn't be in your diet.
Okay.
And almost always, it's grains.
Grains?
Okay, let me tell you why. People say to me, Carl, but everything is not, why is everything
I thought you were going to say
grains?
sugar again.
Well, but no, sugar too.
Okay.
We're going to get to that. But people say to me, Carl, how can grains be so evil? They're hard, healthy? No, they're not hard. Grains are a food alternative to feed the masses, number one.
Well, wait a minute. I go to the store and I look at the whole grain
Yes.
bread aisle, and I'm going, well, don't buy white bread. Get the whole grain
it's
bread.
It's all bad. And let me tell you why. Because grains are seeds, and seeds are genetic material.
Okay.
And genetic material protects itself from being eaten because it wants to keep the species going.
Okay.
So there's actually something called anti-nutrients. Gluten is an anti-nutrient. Gluten is one of nature's pesticides. Gluten is something that when the bug eats it, it gets sick. So there's a lot of anti-nutrients in seed products, in grains. And so when you eat them, you're eating a lot of these anti-nutrients. They cause inflammation.
Okay.
And if your hormone levels are dropping and your body is already going, I can't deal with this inflammation, and I'm just going to start killing everything. And that's what happens. So something comes in through the diet. It could be a grain-based product. It shows up in the bloodstream. The immune system goes after it, but it also looks like the tissue in your thyroid. The immune system goes after the thyroid too.
Okay, so time out. So I shouldn't be eating whole grains at all,
That's
or if I have this
show.
disease?
That's a whole nother show, but I don't eat whole grains at all.
Okay, but if you have this disease, it's a no-no.
Absolutely not.
All right.
Whole grains have to be cut out of the diet, and sugar must be cut out of the diet. And here's the other thing, and you women out there who suffer from fibromyalgia, you know what I'm talking about right now. Women who have autoimmune disorders crave sweets. They crave them. They'll eat those cheap bags of candy that you get on the counter, you know, and they'll go through 2-3 bags a day.
Oh,
it's
man.
the only thing that satisfies them.
Right.
That is part of the problem. That is causing more of a greater inflammatory response in the body.
Wow.
And the immune system can't cope with it, so it just starts killing everything.
What about the old adage that, hey, your body, eat what you crave because that's what your body needs?
That's true before the Industrial Revolution, before we started making junk food.
Okay.
That's true. But see, the food manufacturers have capitalized on that. They know what we crave, and that's what they add to the foods and the flavors so that we want to eat more and more of it.
That's exactly right.
But it all starts with good blood work, what we talked about here, and then it starts with dietary changes. It takes 3 or 4 weeks of eliminating things and experimenting to start to notice, I don't have the pains anymore. I had a fella on the show who reversed rheumatoid arthritis. Even the proudness of the joints went away after a few years.
If you are, I mean, you can almost immediately, if you eat a food and feel good afterwards, or you eat a food and you feel bad, okay?
The problem is that women who suffer from autoimmune disorders always feel bad, and eating that food brings them some amount of joy. Yes.
Okay.
So they're not a good candidate to use that litmus test and say, oh, I don't feel bad. I only feel bad when I eat this food. The poor things, they wake up feeling bad, they go to sleep feeling bad.
Okay, so real quick, autoimmune, if you are a woman between what age?
Some women start going through perimenopause in their 30s.
Okay, some, but mostly.
Generally in their 40s and above, that's when they start
40s
developing
and above, ladies, this is you. So if there's something mysterious going on with you, you can't figure it out, just think about that. Always consult your doctor and ask him about autoimmune syndrome. Say you heard it on Superhuman Television, and I want to ask you if that's a possibility for what's going on with you.
And find a doctor that is sympathetic to what you're doing. If you have a doctor and he immediately just wants to put you on antidepressants and anxiolytics, run. Run from that doctor. He's just trying to mask the symptoms. That's like being in a building that's on fire and saying, just shut the siren off, we're safe.
Back after this, we're talking autoimmune syndrome right here. Tony Vanetti, Carl Lanore on Superhuman Television.
Superhuman Television will return after these messages.
Your body knows what it wants. It wants to feel stronger, work harder, act faster, and think sharper. Give your body more nutrients, more antioxidants, more protection, more of what it wants. Try Live On Lab's liposomal vitamin C today, risk-free, and give your body the nutrients to support your overall health, without jitters, without side effects. Order online at liveonlabs.com.
Hi, ladies. We are talking to you today. Sorry, guys, if you're at home right now, but we are talking to you again today with autoimmune syndrome. Most likely, the candidate for this disease is older women. So between 40 and any older, you're talking about menopause, and this is a time that could trigger something like this.
Yes.
So again, ask your doctor. Always consult your doctor about how you feel. If you can't figure it out, we're just here to let you know that that could be a symptom.
There are other foods that we need to address before we move on.
Okay.
Okay. The reason that eggs and dairy should be avoided as well is not because there's anything inherently wrong with eggs and dairy for these women, but because they feed the chickens and the cows grain.
Okay.
The lectins, which are the anti-nutrients we were talking about before, get into the eggs and get into the milk. So a lot of times you'll see women say, I cut the grains out, but I'm still having these problems. And you find that they're still eating eggs and they're drinking milk or eating dairy in general. They're still getting those pro-inflammatory lectins in their body, but they're just getting it through a different passage.
Got it.
Okay?
Okay. All right. Again, what you eat, it's not reversible, right? I mean, you cannot, but you can feel better about what you eat.
No, you can reverse it. Many people have completely reversed autoimmune disorders. We've had so many people on Superhuman Radio that have reversed everything from chronic fatigue, irritable bowel, ulcerative colitis, rheumatoid arthritis, just by following these types of directions. And this is not nonsense. They're off of their Humira, they're off of their drugs, they're walking, they're living life again. Doesn't happen overnight, but it happens within the first year.
But
happens within the first year.
It could take a chance for you.
It happens within the first year. Now, there are some things that can help.
Okay.
Healthy intake of omega-3 fatty acids have been shown to suppress inflammation on a genetic level. Krill oil is a really great form of omega-3 fatty acids. So these women should start taking low doses and moderate doses of things like krill oil and finding other ways to get more omega-3s in their diet.
Right.
There's another thing that they need, and that is supplements like curcumin, or even use turmeric and curcumin to cook with. Curcumin, turmeric, ginger. These they have natural cyclooxygenase suppression effects. They reduce inflammation.
Okay.
So by including these in your diet, you automatically, because the key for these women is to get the inflammatory response down, so the body stops attacking tissue in general.
Well, how much omega-3?
It's hard to say. Everybody tolerates different, and there's new research coming out now that we know that some people just need a little and some people need a lot more depending on your genetics and where you came from. But the reality is, if you take what is recommended on the bottle of krill oil up to 2 times as much as what's recommended on the bottle of krill oil, because you want a therapeutic dose, you're going to be fine.
Okay.
You're not going to get hurt by it.
Those giant pills, is that what that is?
Yeah, the gel caps. The little gel caps.
Right.
Yeah, the
okay,
gel
okay.
caps.
All
Yeah.
right. Okay.
But those are really, really good. The other thing that you need to do is, and it always comes back, get your sleep in line. Now, most of these women don't sleep well. But you've got to go back to the sleep show, listen to some of the tips on the sleep show, try to get your sleep in line, because this also has an effect on the inflammatory response.
Yeah, everything is, again, what you're going to hear us preach about what you eat and how much you get, how much sleep you get. Remember, go to sleep when the sun goes down and get up when the sun comes back up. That's the best way for your body's clock, I promise you.
And what you mentioned early is really important. And I know that you crave sugars. I know it, and you don't have to hide it. You may wrap the bags up and hide them in the garbage can because you don't want your husband to know you ate all that stuff. And I know that you have no choice in it because your body wants it, but you must find a way to get the sugar out. Elisa Profumo, who is our assistant director, said, you talked bad about aspartame, but you didn't give anybody an alternative. And she's right. Stevia is a better choice for you if you have a sweet tooth that you want to wean yourself off of, but you don't want the pro-inflammatory effects of sugars. So get yourself stevia-based drinks and stevia-based cookies and candy, and use those, but slowly wean your palate off of sweets. You have to do that.
Yeah, I know. You took my soda there. I only have a few vices, Carl.
Shame on you. Shame on you.
I know. I'm terrible for drinking my Diet Coke.
That turns into a form of formaldehyde in your body.
Oh, my Lord. Don't scare me like that.
Well,
but that's what we're supposed to do.
It's the
now,
truth.
Is there a level of health for the women that end up getting autoimmune, like heavier people, thinner people, northern, southern?
No.
Is it just across the board?
There are women out there that will say that was me. they were physically fit their entire lives. Maybe they did Zumba every day, and they exercised every day, and they ate right every day, and they did everything they were supposed to do every day, and bang. And if you saw them out, you'd say, oh my God, she's size 1, size 2. How can she be sick?
Right.
And that's the problem with autoimmune disorders. They don't have a nice, neat footprint that the medical orthodoxy recognizes. They're just treated by symptoms. But all of the symptoms lead back to a couple things, as we've detailed on the show today.
Right. Okay. Autoimmune system. Again, always consult your doctor. We're going to try to give you answers as we go along on this journey. Again, if you're just joining us, I am Tony Vanetti. That is Carl Lanore, and this journey will include stops in talking about autoimmune. We've talked about type 2 diabetes on this show. We'll eventually talk about hormone replacement, which will be at the end of this thing. Autoimmune could be part of this thing too, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
Women should not be afraid of hormones. They should be afraid of the type of hormones that they get. You want to stay away from the orals that are methylated because they change the liver landscape, and that's where all the blood clotting and cancer issues come from. If you're using bioidentical hormones, it's not an issue, but you have to get on hormones early on, during perimenopause, and right at when menopause actually occurs. Otherwise, you don't see the benefits.
Again, it seems like a lot. We're throwing a lot at you, but there will be a couple of reoccurring themes as we move through these shows. Exercise, sleep, and what you eat. That is basically what we're going to all bring it down to. And then Carl will tie it again. Always consult your doctor, but we'll always kind of tie all these diseases and symptoms and all that down to what you're eating and how much sleep you're getting. So let's keep an eye on all that. So tonight, get to bed at a certain time, grab the book, and read yourself to sleep. That's what I'm recommending almost every single night. Turn the lights down and read with a little light, and then go to bed as fast as you can. By the way, this show is fantastic, but there's nothing else on television late at night. Why are you up?
Right, exactly.
You're watching a rerun of Duck Dynasty, seriously? So let's stop that, all right? Just go to bed. You'll feel better tomorrow. Tony Vanetti, Carl Lanore, Superhuman Television.
Superhuman Television will return after these messages.
Your body knows what it wants. It wants to feel stronger, work harder, act faster, and think sharper. Give your body more nutrients, more antioxidants, more protection, more of what it wants. Try Live On Lab's liposomal vitamin C today, risk-free, and give your body the nutrients to support your overall health, without jitters, without side effects. Order online at liveonlabs.com.
Welcome back, and remember, let's review real quick. Autoimmune system, ladies, that's you in your late 30s or 40s, around menopause, correct? That could be symptoms, so keep that in mind when you talk to your doctor. This Superhuman Television, Carl Lanore.
And one of the things that you said a second ago is very important to capitalize on. It always seems like things come back to diet, nutrition, and it's true. The father of modern medicine, Hippocrates, he wrote the edict for most doctors. And what he said was, let food be thy medicine and medicine be food. And there's a reason for that, because way back then they discovered that the foods you ate dictated whether you stayed healthy, got sick, or got better. So this is not new. There's just been an excursion from it in modern medicine today. It's time for us to get back to it again.
That's a great advice. Thanks for joining us today, every day at noon, right here, Monday through Friday. Superhuman Television with Tony Vanetti and Carl Lanore. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
Your body knows what it wants. It wants to feel stronger, work harder, act faster, and think sharper. Give your body more nutrients, more antioxidants, more protection, more of what it wants. Try Live On Lab's liposomal vitamin C today, risk-free, and give your body the nutrients to support your overall health, without jitters, without side effects. Order online at liveonlabs.com.